Here are some tips for looking after your WTB Serra Thru axle hubs. Let's start by looking at what tools you're going to need for the job. And today I'm going to be using two 17mm cone spanners, a 14mm Allen key or socket bit, a bearing press kit with over-axle adapters, a soft-faced hammer or mallet, a medium-sized drift, and whatever tools you need to remove your cassette. The replacement bearing sizes are 6804 for the front hub and 6902 for the non-drive side of the rear hub. For the drive side, the hybrid free hub acts as the wheel bearing too, so for a full service you'll want to pick up the appropriate replacement from our website. If you go into the trouble of stripping the hubs down, you may as well change the bearings at the same time. This process applies to 12x142, 148 and 157 hubs. There is a different procedure for 135 and 141 quick release hubs. The first thing you want to do is remove the cassette to give full access to the hub. You can also remove the disc rotor to minimize risk of contamination with grease, but it's not necessary. To begin disassembling the hub itself, you want to start by removing the end cap on the drive side. To do this, hold the non-drive side cap steady with the first 17mm cone spanner, and then use the second spanner to loosen the drive side end cap. Completely remove the drive side end cap, followed by the bearing nut, which now should be just finger tight. Once they're out of the way, use a soft-faced hammer to tap the axle out from the drive side. Then use a drift to carefully remove the remaining bearing. Now it's time to remove the free hub. You'll need a 14mm Allen key or hex bit for this, and you access the nut from the non-drive side. It's got a regular thread, so it turns anti-clockwise to loosen. This can be quite tight, so don't be surprised if you've got to use a fair bit of force or good leverage. Once it's loose, the free hub nut will come out from the non-drive side. Now that it's fully disassembled, give all parts a good clean and inspect for damage or wear. Once you're happy that everything is ready to go, it's time to start reassembly. Lightly grease where the bearings are going to sit inside the hub, and also these shiny surfaces on the axle, as that's where the bearings will sit. To reassemble, follow the previous steps in reverse order. You'll need to press the non-drive side bearing in using a bearing press tool after the free hub has been reinstalled. After that's done, double check the non-drive side nut and end cap are tight, and then slide the axle back in from the non-drive side. Add the drive side end cap, followed by the bearing nut, and carefully tighten, taking care not to overdo it, as this can cause the bearings not to run smoothly. Finally, fit your cassette and you're good to go. Start by removing both end caps. They're not threaded, so should just pull off. Then you want to get your soft-faced hammer and tap the axle out. It doesn't matter which side you go for, but tapping the axle out will bring the opposite bearing with it. Once that's out, use a drift to carefully remove the remaining bearing. Now that it's fully disassembled, give all parts a good clean and inspect for damage or wear. Once you're happy that everything is good to go, it's time to start reassembly. Lightly grease where the bearings are going to sit inside the hub, and then use the appropriate bearing press spacer to install the first bearing. Again, it doesn't matter which side you go for first, as both sides are the same. Now, lightly grease the axle and pop it into place from the open side. Then, use an over-axle press to fit the remaining bearing. Finally, refit the end caps and you're good to go. Thanks for watching, see you on the next video.